JP, go ahead and introduce yourself, man. Let the world know who you are.
I am JP No. I am... Oh, wow, yeah. That's such a loaded question.
If I asked your wife, what would she say you are?
I'm an excellent father.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm a awesome husband. I care. Yeah. I do a lot for the people around me.
Yeah.
And that's how I define myself. And then if you're asking what I do for a living, I do a few things, but mainly I own Our Mom's Restaurant and Bar.
Our moms.
Our mom, OURMOM''S.
Our Mom's Restaurant.
So I love how you say that, though.
I'll do it on your voicemail.
I know, right?
We're calling Our Mom's Restaurant.
Dude, I'm gonna pay you for that voiceover. And I also have a production company because I have a thing about me now. I have to love what I do because if I don't, I'm not going to do it anymore.
That's a very good guiding star.
I could die tomorrow, bro.
Yes, you could.
You know, I don't want to be miserable.
What are you chasing after in the pursuit of personal satisfaction? Hopefully before you die.
Hopefully before I die. My biggest impact that I want to leave on this world is I want my kids to make this world better. But in order for them to make the world better, I have to make the world better now for them. And I have been saying this weird thing because I have to think in frameworks, I guess. So the first part of my life, I worked on myself as an individual, right? Like the values that I hold, like how I operate, the rules that I live by. Then I spent the next portion, a big chunk of my life, building businesses, things that I love to do because it's tough, you know that.
Yes.
And then I spent the next part of it building a family.
You and I met through a group that we started a couple of years back, which lasted 3 sessions. We just didn't have the time for it, but
technically you started that.
Yeah, I know. And then I realized once I did it, I just don't have the time for it. But I'm really pleased because I got to meet you and some people from your group. And ever since then, we've been moving in similar circles. And every time I meet you, like last week at that social for that film group that we were at,
Radio bar,
our conversation goes very quickly into motivating people, and our last conversation kind of centered around hiring and motivating staff. And I remember saying to you, stop, we need to do this on the podcast.
Yeah, you did.
Because I've been on my whole career, I wouldn't say my whole career, when I went freelance, I was a one-man band, and I got to a point with that where I just didn't think I could grow it anymore. And so I've started hiring, and it's been about a 3-year journey, and oh, what a journey it is.
Yeah.
But so I'm very interested in your experience with the hiring and inspiring of staff, given you have so much more experience doing that, whether it be at a production company or in the people you meet through that, or especially with your restaurant situation. So, and you're like Mr. Motivator. If there was an Energizer bunny for like motivation, it would be you. So where do you want to start?
Wow. Thank you.
Inspiring and
because I don't think of myself that way. I think of myself as learning as I go. Everyone can tell you kind of best practices, but you have to figure out what works for you and your personality and what you're trying to accomplish. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I have it all figured out. I can sit here and tell you all the ways that I've messed up and how I've fixed those things to get to where I am today, which is nowhere where I think I need to be, right? So there's so much more room for improvement, but...
All right, so hiring mistake, lesson learned. Pick anything in your history and share it with me.
Wow. How about the one that I just learned last week, right?
Okay, hit me.
Okay. So there's a lot of different lessons that I've learned, but on the way here, I was talking to my partner, Trent, about it. And you spend so much time creating a system, right? Like you have the way your cameras are set up, how they're wired, how they run into, your audio board, all of these things. It's a system. You do the same thing the same way every single time, right?
Yes.
Because then you can replicate that. Then you can teach that to somebody else. Because if it doesn't work, you're probably going to fix it to where it does work.
True.
So you're going to make it work no matter what. Now you hire somebody and they come in, and my personality is I love to work with people. I don't want people to work for me. I don't want to be that type of boss because it's not fun for me. I want to collaborate. I want to say, hey man, what's your idea? Let's do this, right? The lesson that I just learned, and I learned the lesson about a year ago. I truly understood the lesson this week. The lesson is I can't allow people who have less experience, less knowledge, less care, and less passion to have input into what we do without a solid game plan on how it's going to work in the future. because all it is ideas. So, but I am that type of person where I say, hey, what do you think we should do? Right? I already know what we need to do. I've been doing this for 15 years now, right?
Sure.
I know what works for me. I know what produces the right results, right? But for some reason, I love that question. Hey, what do you think we should do? What that does is it opens up doubt for people because, wait a second, he doesn't know what he's doing. To me, I don't think that way. If you asked me what to do, I wouldn't be like, oh man, you don't know how to work a camera, right? I'd be like, dude, it's perspective. What can you bring to the conversation? What value can you add?
So how would you distill that down into a rule of thumb? I live by rules of thumb.
A rule of thumb. I'm not even sure because I just learned this lesson. It's more of a wide concept right now for me. But to narrow it down, it's because if you boil it down to a singular kind of thought, then it makes it sound like you don't want anybody's opinion and your way is the right way, right? So I don't want that to be the message that I put out because I don't know if my way is the right way, but I can tell you the way that I'm currently doing it is the right way for me and the way that I get the results that I want. It's not about selling burgers and it's not about winning best burger all the time or sales or whatever. Those are all super important things. How I do that is more important because you have to develop the people around you because if you go to work and you hate the people around you, bro, you're not going to do it for long.
Have you ever read Blue Ocean Strategies?
I have not.
Okay, so it was
Blue
a book.
Ocean Strategies.
Yeah, in the same day, this is many years ago when Kip Holden was the mayor of Baton Rouge, so do you remember him?
Yep.
Okay, cool guy. Real good, neat dresser. I think he passed, but anyway. So in one day, I had a shoot at his office downtown, and then I had a shoot at then Governor Bobby Jindal's place, the governor's mansion. And I noticed that on the bookshelf in one, on the table was the other, was this book. And I thought to myself, well, if they're both reading it, then I should probably read it. So I got the book. Essentially, the premise is that there's no such thing as a new idea. Yeah. What you think are new ideas are existing ideas and concepts that are put together in new recipes. And so when you're talking about perspectives that staff bring to the table, I think it's entirely correct to say it doesn't matter almost what skill level you're at in the craft that you're pursuing. The perspective is still valid. And I think as a person in charge, being not so arrogant to be open to those opinions, that they're all valid because at the end of the day, what makes us individuals is our unique perspectives and experiences. And so, I mean, to take an extreme example, my 8-year-old might come in here and see a thing and make a comment, and that kind of ignorant, childish perspective might just be the Occam's razor simplest solution to the thing that, I don't know. There's the potential for it there at least. So listen to all perspectives, I think is fair.
Yes, you can learn something from everybody. You can either learn what to do better or you can learn what not to do.
Okay.
But you learn every single time.
That is true. What, in your opinion, if you had to say most important thing to lead to a person sticking around, achieving some tenure with your company, long-term stickiness, maintaining employees?
I've got staff that have been with me for 7 years plus at this point. And I can tell you that I don't have the secret formula because I call them seasons of life now. This season of life, we're perfect together. The next season of life, we might not be perfect together, right? So if your seasons of life are constantly changing, which most of the people that work for me are, from 18 to 25 is probably the bulk of the people that work for me, right? They're constantly changing. They're changing probably every 6 months. So every time their season of life changes, what they want changes, right? So I have to adapt to what they want, and sometimes our desires don't align, right? Because sometimes they might want to party a little bit more than be serious, right? But then they grow out of that, right? But the hardest part is trying to figure out in the moment you have to look at the difference between the words that they're saying and the actions and behavior that they're doing.
Do you mind if I just fire random questions here? Because this next one isn't about staffing necessarily. So question I get a lot, lots of people that are starting out in this line of work, they find me and they come in they have all their questions. And that's great. I think it's flattering that people look at me in that way. But a question I get a lot, and I have my own thoughts, but I know a lot of people have this issue and it's not industry specific, is how do you know what to charge for a thing?
Ooh, okay.
Thoughts?
How do you know what to charge for a thing? It depends on what that thing is. for a commodity item, let's say for a hamburger, I can't charge $45 for a hamburger, right?
How do you figure out what to charge for it?
So that's easy. So the mathematical formula is I take everything that it takes to make this burger or this sandwich or this dish, and then I divide that out, right? So you have to include a little bit of rent, you have to include a little bit of utilities and insurance, so everything factors in. So it's not just the food that you're spending on. But if you price your food out 3-time markup probably is the industry standard, then you should be right in line. So I have this idea or ideology, I don't know what you want to call it, but I'm not raising my prices willy-nilly because I'm inefficient at running the business. I fix the business, and then if I need to go up on prices, then I go up on prices.
Yes.
Right? So, but I'm not passing inefficiencies on to other people. If you're talking about production services, for instance, right? The better I get at something, the more I can charge for it. But I'm also not trying to do a $200 video for social media, right? Like that's not happening.
Sure.
You do when you start, right? But then you start to learn what you can do and what impact your videos have for other people, because you know that I'm not just slapping an edit together, right? There's going to be room tone. There's going to be some ambience, right? There's going to be sound design to it. There's a lot more layers of things that you have to do. And then you have to make sure that your first 3 frames or the first 3 seconds are like attention grabbing. You got to make sure you have this and typology and all of this stuff that most people don't even think about, but you can feel it. I didn't learn that until probably a year ago, because you would just put together, I cut it up, it looks good, right? But you don't feel it. I want to feel the work that I put out. So how we price this out is we continue to raise our price every time somebody agrees. And then when they start to kind of question it, then we kind of know we're in the ballpark. And then we can start tailoring it down around that area, because no one tells you what market price is, and it depends on the industry that you're in, the clients that you're working with. Not everybody.
I think that all the inputs that cost you money factored together give you a baseline. I think that the once you start actually selling and you get your yeses and you get your nos, it's never as clear cut as well, I can do it and it costs me this, therefore I have to charge this thing.
Yes.
Because then the market is going to say whether they value that thing at that price. But here's the kicker that I found always interesting is that everyone's at a different place. You know, just because a person over here values a thing one way does not inherently mean that thing doesn't have that value. It just means it doesn't have that value to that person.
To them, yes.
And so a large part I find in sales as well is to find that ideal client and work out from there. It takes time, I guess is the point. But
the right avatar. You got to find the right people to work with, because if you work with the wrong people, even though you love what you do, you're going to hate the actual work itself. I don't want to hate what I do, right? The people who try to beat you down on price, I already know I'm not for you. I'll help you find somebody else.
Okay, loving what you do. I can see that you do. So your production company has started doing a lot of podcasting things. What I love about what you're doing is you're not creating things to talk about. You're bringing your cameras into your world.
Yes.
Like the meetings you have, that kind of stuff. It's really kind of refreshing. How is that serving that goal to enjoy what you do? Are you a natural kind of in front of camera person, you'd say?
No, not at all. I'm great at having conversations with a single person because I love making connections, because it fills my cup. That's been my saying, because I pour out of my cup so often to fill other people's. How do I fill my own cup? Because if you keep pouring, you're going to run out, right? And when you run out, that's where burnout happens. And then you stop caring. You stop putting out good product. You stop wanting to do it.
What fills your cup?
These conversations.
Yeah.
A real one. Not, hey, how's the weather? How's your family? If you're talking to someone who doesn't care about that stuff, I'm not going to have that conversation. We're going to talk about what motivates you. That's why I love your question of what excites you right now.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, whoa, like, let me think about this. What is exciting me right now? Right? Because it's out of the norm. It's not like, hey man, how you doing? You're like, I don't know how to answer that question.
Let's get back to staff then. So speaking about what excites you,
wait, the pricing thing. So there's like 3 things I think about. It's quality, it's speed, and it's cost.
Well, I was told you can't have all 3.
You can't have all 3. You have to pick 2. So I focus on quality and speed, because the cost for the right people, the right clients, they want the quality, they want the speed, and they'll pay for it. But there's certain people that they want a low cost, and it's not that they're bad people or bad clients. It's just not what I want to do.
My wife, when we first got married and she started to wrap her head around, we only dated for 5 minutes and it was ring on the finger and boom, you know.
Damn,
She's very
you
good.
move fast.
I do move fast. Now my brain is back there and that was a busy 3 years. Anyway, so yeah, when she started to see what we're doing, I'm fast too. I focus on just a never-ending quest for higher quality output, but I'm also very interested in delivering at speed. Like some of the turnarounds we have are insane, but that we can gives me so much joy. And we don't do it for everyone, but you know, we turned a thing in 24 hours last week and it was bonkers, but they appreciated it, which was great. Anyway, so speed and quality, I agree with those two things, but pretty fast all the time. So my wife, she would say to me, she said, stop delivering your stuff. Just because you finish doesn't mean you have to deliver it. And I just kind of felt it just was a little disingenuous. And I try not to do it that way, but yeah, speed and quality is definitely where we're headed as well.
I can see how she would say that because you don't have to kill yourself to get something out to somebody, but I'm all about wowing people.
Yes.
Whatever your expectation is, I will beat that.
So
under promise, over deliver.
I read once that people remember how things start and people remember how things end. And so if you can under promise and wow them with an over delivery, that's where it's at. And so that's the sweet spot.
You just excited me because I teach this to people. It's called the peak end rule. Okay. You've probably heard me talk about this before, because if you can kind of visualize everyone's interaction with anything, a cruise, you know, a wedding, anything, you don't remember every single thing about it. You remember the highest moment. It could be a good or a bad thing. And you remember how it ended, right? Sometimes you don't remember how it started, right? So there's two moments in every interaction that people remember. You have to be aware enough of those two moments to be deliberate about it. Very intentional. I want to make sure that the peak is something that you'll remember. And then I want to make sure at the very end, you remember that too. That's why a fast turnaround, that's what they're going to remember. They might not need a video from you every day, every week, but when they do, what are they going to say? Steward is fast, steward is quality.
I hope they say movie media because I'm trying not to make it
yeah.
anymore, but you know, whatever. So, okay, biggest back to staff because staff, hiring and inspiring. What is it I mean, you know, it can't be Jeff, okay? I know Jeff is a model, okay? He's a model citizen, is an excellent employee. What is a quality in an employee that you just, when you see it, you're just like, oh, what is it?
Oh, I don't think it's one, but I can tell you I look for core values that match mine first.
Give me three.
Honesty, integrity, transparency is one of them. Commitment to excellence, right? These are all, I have like a list of 12. I could probably rattle them all off. But to me, integrity is the first most important thing, because without integrity, you don't have trust, right? Trust and honesty are kind of the exact same things, right? So integrity to me is doing the right thing even when no one's looking, because it's so easy to cut a corner, especially if no one's going to look, if no one's going to call you out, you're going to do it. So I'm a huge people pleaser by nature. I love making people happy. But the thing is, I don't want to say people pleaser isn't a bad term. Like, I don't have boundaries. I definitely have boundaries, right? But I will never let another human being down. But for some reason, I'll let myself down. You know, like the check engine light for an oil change in my truck, right? Do you know how long I'll let that thing go?
No, I don't.
Probably a lot longer than I should, right? Probably 1,000 miles over than what I should be. Right. But there's that threshold. Once I get close to what I was like, dude, then you start to feel like a piece of crap. And then you're like, dude, I gotta do something about it. But if this was someone else's car, I would have got it done before the mileage.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I'll let myself down before I'll let somebody else down. And I don't know why that is, because you need to take care of yourself first.
Yeah.
Because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of others.
Yeah.
But for some reason, because we all procrastinate, because you get busy, you'll justify something, you know, like, I've got to get this out for a client. This person's depending on me for this. This isn't as important, right?
So I said this thing to my wife when we were dating, and it was this. It was things that last because selfish motives align. Like, when you are clear about your standards, it becomes very easy to then, it changes how you see the world and interact with the world. I mean, let's get back to your integrity thing. So I discovered really understood and embraced integrity when I read the book. Have you read that book?
What book?
Dr. Henry Cloud. He wrote a book called Integrity. So you know boundaries. Everyone's heard of boundaries, right? Every person who has a pain in the butt mother-in-law has read Boundaries by Dr. Henry Cloud. The book he wrote after that, because when I find a book I like, I read everything. It's called Integrity. And the takeaway from that book, I love this. It's if you want to take the measure of a person, look in their wake. You know, the idea that life is us, we're motorboats, and we're going down the river, and how that wake ripples out, what people that have experienced you think about, feel about you, that's how you tell the measure of a person. Stuck with me ever since I read it.
I love that too, because I have a way of thinking about the exact same concept. I want to know exactly what people think about me when I leave that room. I do, because that's how I'm going to act. There's no other way.
Do you have a way of getting to that information reliably?
Reliably? No, you always just hear it. You know, like JP's a good guy, blah, 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 right? Like they're very vague when they say, but it's the feeling that I leave them with. Right. The feeling that I'm going to do what's right every single time, no matter what. You know, the fact that I care, because if I don't care, I'll tell you. Right. Like, you'll know I just don't care about this right now. You can be like, that's terrible that he doesn't care about this, but dude, it's not on my radar right now. I don't want it to be on my radar.
How are you when you let someone down professionally? Professional embarrassment. How do you deal with it? What do you?
I don't embarrass people, I don't think. So the old, adage of, praise in public, criticize in private. If I have something negative to deliver to somebody, it's always going to be face to face.
Okay.
And let's call it terminations, right? When you terminate somebody, you have to terminate them like a human being. By the time someone gets to the point of termination, a lot of resentment's already built up. A lot of negative feelings have already built up. And then you just want to let it out because you want to feel like you're right. But guess what? You don't have to do that. All we do now is, the question is, do you want to be here? Because now you get to decide what you do with life, right? Like, you get to decide, do you still want to be like a part of this organization? It could be anything, right? It could be the Rotary Club. I don't care what it is, right? Do you still want this right now? In this season of life, do you still want this? You might have wanted it before, but do you want it right now? Things change every day, and we're allowed to change. We're supposed to change. That's how we grow. So you get to choose. So I let them choose. And then if they choose, if their words say they choose this, they want this, then I have to say, well, your actions have to match this. If your actions don't match this, you're telling me you don't really want this, right? Because they don't. You know what it is, right? Like, you can't be like, I love my wife, and then like beat her every day. You can come home. That's a weird way of saying stuff.
You can't?
Damn it, geez. I know we don't do cuts on this podcast, but yeah.
No, I get what
like
you're
cheating,
saying.
Right? You can't say I love somebody and then cheat on them every weekend.
But I find a lot of people, especially younger people, that they haven't had enough life beat them around for them to really care about self-awareness or any of that stuff. And so you can come into something with all of the energy and enthusiasm that new things get. And then just over time you drift. And, if you as the boss or a leader can be looking at that person and help them to, clarify, do you still want this 6 months from now, a year from now? And then point out the actions that are telling you they don't. And if they do want it, they'll fix it.
Yep.
That makes sense to me.
They may not know that they're doing something wrong.
Sure.
So I think feedback is a gift because nobody has to give it to you. And I think when someone gives me criticism, I love it. I say, give me more, right? Because if no one tells you how to get better, how are you going to get better?
Yeah, it's the people that love you enough to do that.
And not in a way of like, you'll know someone when they're like a hater or something, right? Like when they're just negative about everything in life. You don't really listen to those people, right? But the ones who care about you, if they say something, it might be right, it might be wrong.
Yeah.
Either way, it's what they think, and I appreciate that.
If more people were honestly and lovingly critical, well, then we wouldn't have American Idol.
Yeah.
Which we all love.
Because I don't want to be fake nice to somebody. You can tell on my face when I'm being fake nice to somebody. I can feel a fake smile, and I don't like it, right? Because then then it shows that I don't respect you on some level, right? As a human being or whatever it is, obviously I'll respect you. There's a base level of respect, but I might not respect you enough to call you tomorrow and have lunch.
You said that you, when you teach, you speak about something we said a while back. You have 12 reasons or whatever. What was the teaching that you do?
Teaching is synonymous with coaching. So the reason I say the word teach is because you have to have a lot of patience. Teachers have a lot of patience because you're teaching a new topic or a subject to someone who's never heard this before. You can't get upset when they don't know. It's your job to explain it in a way that they can understand. Because if I just explained it the same way every single time and all I did was get louder and louder and louder about it, I don't understand the topic well enough to be in that position to teach. So I have to know so much about what I'm talking about that now I can then help you learn in different, because everybody learns differently, right? So if I explain something in one way and you don't understand, chances are I'll ask something like, what are you into, right? Like, what are your hobbies, right? And then I take what you already know and I kind of, not compare, but I use that to make you understand something. I might use a football analogy or a car analogy,
You
right?
try and meet people where they are.
Yes. Because, and that to me that's how you show people you care about them. Because if I just yelled at you and be like, what do you mean you don't understand? It's so simple, right? What is it? The curse of knowledge. As soon as you learn something, you assume everybody else knows it too.
I think that is a negative human trait. I've been guilty of it myself. It was shocking when I first discovered that, not everyone knows the things you know.
But you try so hard to learn and to fix things. But once you learn it, you're like, how come you didn't know? But then you forget how long it took you to figure it out.
Yeah. I find that's true with even soft skills, the whole like being on time, like appreciating or caring about your surroundings, all the little things your parents might have beat into you as a child. You grow up and you just assume everybody else has those too. I once was working for a company and they needed to, growing up, I did a lot of manual labor stuff, carrying around cement, mixing things, construction, hanging ceilings, floors, that kind of stuff, and painting. I loved painting. The solitude of painting was fantastic.
The instant gratification.
True that. Anyway, so fast forward about a decade, I was in America working for a company, and this office, it was about 4,000 square foot, needed some paint done. And we had this non-profit we were doing some stuff with, and a bunch of these kids showed up, and the company bought them paintbrushes, and these kids were going to, return a favor and paint this office. And oh my goodness, dude, they may as well just have put a firecracker in the paint and just detonated it. But then I discovered, painting's not a skill you're born with, I guess. So
how many hours of practice did you have to have?
Yeah, it's true. So
like to be able to cut in those lines without having to put masking tape everywhere.
I can do that. So where are you headed? What's the future look like for you? What you into? What's you exciting? Or where's your head at as far as like 15 years from now? You're on
15 years from now. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, go 15.
That's a different thing because I was thinking the next 5-10 years, but 15 is a great number because in 15, I have no idea. I can tell you I want to be happy. I can tell you I want to be healthy. I can tell you I want to have great relationships. I want to tell you that I have a great group of people around me, right? And that's really all I care about. Right? Measure of success, you can measure it in dollars, but you only need money to survive, right? Money doesn't make me inherently happy. This conversation's making me happy, right? The fact that someone's asking me what I want to do in life, because usually I'm the one asking people, what do you want to do with your life, right? So when someone returns the favor, it's like cooking. I always cook for other people. When someone cooks for me, you have no idea how happy that makes me, And it's like, it could be good, it could be bad, and most people are like, I'm so sorry, like I know you in a restaurant. I was like, no, dude, you have no idea how good this is right now, right?
By the way, as a restaurant person and a person that knows how to cook, tallow. I had a fellow on last week who his wife and he went from soaps to tallow. Can you really cook with that?
Okay, so
I have a tub now, a vat. It's like this big of tallow.
Oh wow! So yes, my wife is mad at me now because How
should I use it?
Oh wow, everything, dude.
Really?
Salad dressings. I use it a lot. You can fry things in it, but I use it more because I'm on the carnivore diet. So I buy like huge chunks of meat at a time. So like whole briskets, whole ribeyes, right? Whole like top sirloins or whatever. Like what is it called? Like it's the New York strip one. What do you call it? Whatever it is. So whatever carnal cut of meat that is. Yeah. So you have to trim that.
Okay.
There's something therapeutic about cutting fat off a piece of meat. I used to be a butcher when I was 17 for a grocery store. And you're just by yourself. It's freaking freezing. You're wearing like a doctor's coat. Yeah. You know what I mean? But you're just by yourself, like just kind of, it's so satisfying. So I take that now and I use the way that I make my tallow is I take all of those and I freeze it. And then when I'm ready for it, I'll take the crock pot out and I'll run it for like, the last one that I did was 72 hours. I left that thing running.
So that's what this fella said. He's got an outdoor kitchen where he does it because it's very smelly and stuff. But he gave me a finished, like purified, cosmetic grade level tub of tallow. And I thought to myself this morning, should I make eggs with that? But then when I use, you can. It's like Crisco fat.
Yeah,
it's like
it just gives it a little beefy flavor. My wife hates that smell, so I can't do it inside. I have to do it in the garage, or technically I do it in the shed in the garage.
So that one was just for me because you're in the restaurant business and stuff. But you're saying I should definitely try and cook with this as if it's like
fry something with it.
Fry something.
Fry things with it. Yeah,
Okay,
you're gonna be surprised because it's a good fat for you. It's not a seed oil, you know. So and it's natural. And guess what? You were gonna throw it away anyway.
I wasn't. I just don't know what to do with it. It's taking up a large space. I don't want to talk about tallow. Well, thank you for that. I'm going to now have the confidence to try and cook with my tallow.
Well, if you want to get rid of it, deep fry things.
Deep fry. Okay, fine.
Deep fry some French fries.
My wife doesn't like. She's very healthy and conscious.
Oh, wow.
But she can cook healthy.
Ooh.
So. And yeah, we won't get into meat because that's a whole side conversation we should have. So you have the restaurant business, you have the production company. Those are two very different things. Are you interested in the company, the industry, or are you interested in the process of running businesses?
I like running businesses because I love people, but that's the reason I'm in both of the things that I do, because it's all about, the restaurant is 100% about people. Yeah. So that's where you learn hospitality. How I define that is, how do you feel when you leave this interaction? Yeah. Right? If you feel, it has to be a good feeling, right? You can't be like, I hate this guy. Like, that's not the feeling I'm going for. That's not hospitality. Yeah. But hospitality is a feeling that you take away from the experience.
Sure.
Hospitality, there's a book called Unreasonable Hospitality, and it was the first time it clicked to me that every business has to have hospitality. It doesn't matter if you're in the medical field, or if you're in the video production field, or if you're a dentist, or if you're a construction worker. Hospitality is everything, because it's about the human interaction. Yeah. How do you feel when you leave this interaction? If you feel like I took away from you and I didn't give anything to you, that's not hospitality. But if you leave feeling like you got way more than you gave, that is hospitality. And you can bring that everywhere.
In this instance, I fell woefully short of that. And honestly, man, your brain must go at 100 miles an hour. I mean, I like to think that I have a pretty active mind. It's just it doesn't quite work that fast. I've enjoyed getting to know you and watching your growth and how you operate. I enjoy every time I meet you, and I'm just looking forward, man, to the next couple of years. And as we both kind of continue to move in circles and things, just getting to know you better. I think you're a fantastic human being, and I appreciate you coming on and spending time with us today.
Dude, I love the questions that you asked me today. I really
Next
did.
time I'll send you a list to prep, because I should probably be more on track. We just talked about tallow. What the hell was that?
Dude, I talk about anything and everything because I don't script anything out, because I feel like that takes away from the experience.
Yeah.
A conversation should flow, right? Ebbs, flows. It should be very organic. If I came in here thinking this is what I want to promote, or this is what I'm doing, or I don't have any fun doing that, right? So I appreciate you not having a list of questions.
Same. Fist bump. Get out of here.
I know. I'm out.